Brandel Chamblee back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Brandel?
I'm great. A little chilly, but otherwise well, right here in St. Andrews, Rich.
Yeah, so the wind appears to be knocking hats off of people's heads now. Is it brutal conditions out there right now?
It's just south of brutal. I expected it to be brutal. That was the forecast, but it hasn't blown quite to the extent. Friday afternoon it was supposed to be upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour. I think it's more 15 to 20. And because it had rained so much, the golf course is a bit soft, so the scoring's better than I think anybody would have expected.
So the fact that the rain delay pushed the tee times back, is there a possibility? Is there a possibility that the second round may have to be completed tomorrow, Brandel?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think Tiger just went off. I believe it gets dark at 9:46. That's the time sunsets here. So it's very likely that they'll be finishing up the rest of the round number 2 tomorrow.
So it's a fitting visual, then, you're saying, that Tiger will have a sunset on him and maybe potentially golf in darkness at some point today. Is that what you're saying, Brandel?
Well, if you want to extend the metaphor to that, sure. But I think it's also a real possibility that Tiger's around on Saturday as well, at least for part of Saturday.
Yeah, right, because of the fact that the second round is finishing. What do you feel Tiger's chances in these conditions are to make a cut that right now appears to be projected at even par? Not good. I mean, to go out and shoot 68 would be extraordinary. Adam Scott shot 5 under par today. Jeff Ogilvy shot 4 under par. Justin Rose shot 4 under par. But the wind is supposed to pick up this afternoon, and you're talking about players that are on top of their game. And Tiger very much looked like the 241st ranked player in the world yesterday. So what is up with him before we move up the leaderboard or far up the leaderboard, Brandel, from what you're seeing?
Well, everything. I think the perfect storm to rob somebody of their game. I think his body's began to break down. I think he's got a lot of confusion as it relates to what he wants to do with his golf swing. And you put those two together, and it's really the perfect storm to rob somebody of their game. He's been caught up in for the last 4 or 5 years into the science experiment, basically. Lots of science, lots of study. And I think it's very difficult to take those ideas and transfer them into movement, to communicate movement. Throughout history, I think the best athletes have a general idea of how they want to swing, and they let the ball be their guide, and they create. I think Tiger Woods has exchanged his genius for the ideas of other people.
Well, he's at least ahead of his pace from yesterday. He parred one as opposed to bogeying it. He avoided the drink on one of the easiest holes that the British Open, not just St. Andrews, can throw at you, the Open Championship can throw at you. Both Spieth and Dustin Johnson have parred their way to the 4th tee box right now. Of the two, which one do you think has the best chance to hoist the jug by the end of the weekend, Brandel?
Well, I think Dustin Johnson to win Wednesday night. I certainly think that Spieth will be around late on Sunday, but the combination of Dustin Johnson's length and what it allows him to do coming into these difficult hole locations, and the fact that then he can sort of offset whatever weaknesses he has in his putting, I think that's a tremendous advantage. This golf course has been prejudiced to power now for about the last 20 years in a way that it had never been before. And Dustin can get past these bunkers, and Jordan's going to have to take them on day after day, hole after hole.
Brandel Chamblee joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Tell me something about Danny Willett. I don't know much about this guy. What can you tell me about him?
Well, he was the former number one world-ranked amateur. So he was quite a player, as a younger man. He's 27. He plays quite well in the wind. He had a good run in the Irish Open this year. He had a chance to win it last year as well. He won the Nedbank Challenge. He's been playing really well around St. Andrews. They play the Dunhill Links Championship around here. His last 10 goes at St. Andrews, he's 41 under par. So if you watched him play, he's got a pretty powerful golf swing, but he's got sort of a flat golf swing.
and sort of a flat follow through. So he hits this really low ball flight. I think as long as it's windy and the wind's coming off of the right, he hits these cut shots which hold up into that wind coming off into the right on the back nine. I think it's going to serve him well. He did, however, look pretty darn nervous on the back nine. He started taking a lot of practice swings and taking a lot of time to hit his shots. So, he's in a good spot, but he should be looking in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, and in terms of that rearview mirror, I know you said you said Dustin Johnson. I'm talking to Brandel Chamblee of the Golf Channel here on the Rich Eisen Show. You thought Dustin going into this was the prohibitive favorite. Other than him, take him out of the equation. Who do you think has the best shot here of anybody that's within striking distance to win it?
Adam Scott. He had 24 putts today. Early in the year, he was struggling with his putting. I believe he figured it out. He finished quietly fourth at the U.S. Open. Obviously, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson took the lion's share of the attention there, but Adam Scott led the field in driving distance at Chambers Bay, almost 340 yards off of the tee. There were only three people that had fewer three putts than him at Chambers Bay when the whole world was three putting. It seemed like every other green. He's finished second, third, and fifth the last 3 years in the Open Championship. And if you only saw him hit one tee shot today at the 18th when everybody was giving the OB down the right a wide berth to the left, he took it right at the flag and hit the best drive of anybody and had a pretty simple two-putt for birdie. It wouldn't surprise me if Adam Scott sort of trumped everybody this weekend.
What is the weather looking like for the weekend?
Horrid tomorrow, and I think upwards of a 70% chance of rain on Sunday.
Wow.
So it'd be winter where I live. It'd be a bad winter day where I live, I think, these next 2 days. But that's what they call the Open Championship. So, the weather is supposed to be so bad, that's where it turns into a bit of a lottery because depending upon when you tee off, when these squalls come in, it can dramatically affect the outcome of this championship. So little apprehensive, but I'll say this. If you go back, and you can go back a long time, 46 years, 42 of the last 46 winners in the Open Championship were within 4 shots of the lead after 36 holes. And the last 5 winners of the Open Championship at St. Andrews were tied for the lead or outright leading. So it's a very good leaders golf course and championship.
So is there a possibility we're going to be seeing some golf Monday, do you think?
Yeah. Absolutely. I was supposed to go over and play at Muirfield on Monday. And my plans are on hold right now because it wouldn't surprise me if we went into Monday.
Oh, Brandel, well, thank you for the heads up. Appreciate that. Stay warm, stay dry, and we'll chat soon.
You got it. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
You bet. You got it. That's Brandel Chamblee of the Golf Channel.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.